Veteran Craig Counsell, I mean, he is the epitome of small ball, and he's having a great couple of days in this series.
You know, you really have to tip your hat to this guy. I mean, he's been in the big leagues an awful long time. He's going to be 39 years old. He hit one way throughout his whole life. And last year, during the offseason, he changed his batting stroke and has really been productive, getting on base, driving the baseball. This guy's got, he's up amongst league leaders in triples. He's got the 4 home runs, getting on base, driving in runs, scoring runs. And it's not just at the plate. I mean, this guy is bouncing around like a 22-year-old. Counsell making all the plays, whether it's at shortstop, second base. He's in the platoon right now at third base, and he's been right where he's supposed to be in this series so far.
All right, well, we're looking forward to the finale. The Brewers going after the sweep. They'll have to do it against the Astros ace, Roy Oswalt. He matches up with Looper when we come back. By Time Warner Cable, the power of you. And brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Well, some thunderstorm activity around the area, so the roof is closed today. The panels are open. And you talk to most of the hitters, they'll tell you this is the ideal climate to hit the long ball. It's when the ball travels the best. Cecil Cooper and the Astros in town, one final game in this series. Cecil's lineup is brought to you by Subway today, and it's Michael Bourne, Kaz Matsui, and Lance Berkman at the top. Cooper has Carlos Lee, Jeff Blum, and Hunter Pence in the middle of his order, with Pudge Rodriguez, Jeff Keppinger, and Roy Oswalt rounding it out. And that lineup for the Astros will face Braden Looper for the Brewers, who is making a bid at his 11th win of the season.
And for our Piggly Wiggly scanner report, let's hear from Brewers pitching coach Chris Bosio.
You know, work fast, throw strikes, and attack. You know, Loop's our horse on the staff right now, and you know, we had a good meeting beforehand about doing just that, is attacking the zone, and you know, and just being relentless and getting after it. And you know, I think we'll see that out of Braden today.
And one of the things that Ken Maka really stresses with Braden Looper is staying on top, pitching on the downward plane so he can get the ball down and keep the ball in the ballpark. You see those 29 home runs. That's amongst league leaders in the National League and allowing home runs. So if Loop was able to keep the ball in the ballpark today, should be a good outing for him.
25th start of the year for Looper. And you figure the Astros to put the ball in play quite a bit today. Here's how the Brewers line up defensively. Ryan Braun, Mike Cameron, and Frank Catalanato in the outfield. Counsell, Escobar, Lopez, and Fielder around the horn with Jason Kendall behind the plate. This is the exact same 8 that started positionally for the Brewers yesterday. And why change it, right? If you're Ken Maka, the Brewers still have their pitcher batting 8th. Brewers are scoring a lot of runs on this homestand. Umpires in place, the brothers Bill and Tim at home and first, Jim Reynolds at second with Ted Barrett at third base. And the crew chief is the first base umpire, Tim Welke. So if there's need for a boundary review, it'll be Tim Welke who makes that decision. Michael Bourne steps in. The game's first pitch is in there for a strike, and away we go. Bourne, a dangerous hitter, a guy to certainly keep off the bases when you can. His on-base percentage is near .370 to start the day. And a big-time base stealer in the National League.
Now the Brewers did a nice job handling the first 4 in the order yesterday for the Houston Astros. And those are the guys that do most of the production, get most of the RBI, score the most runs. Mike Burns, an outstanding performance yesterday.
Bourne with 9 triples, that leads the major leagues, and 44 stolen bases, which leads the National League. And that's exactly how you want to put him out. A fly ball to Cameron for out number 1. Cecil Cooper's Astros have struggled on this road trip. They dropped 3 out of 4 in Florida and dropping the first 2 games here in Milwaukee. And they opened the day today 5 games under 500.
And they really haven't been able to get too long of starts. I mean, the starting rotation hasn't been able to pitch too deep into the ball game, and because of that, bullpen's a bit banged up, beat up. They've been pitching a lot.
Since Wandy Rodriguez shut out the Brewers last Sunday in Houston, he went 7 shutout innings. The Astros have not gotten more than 5 innings from a starter. Oswald went 5+ against Florida last Tuesday, but he still gave up 6 runs and 9 hits in that game. So pitching has been the issue for the Astros here lately. It certainly has been the first 2 games of this series. The Brewers putting 27 hits on the board in 2 games. Matsui pops it up. Counsell is there. 2 up, 2 down. And by stark contrast, the Brewers pitching has done pretty well here lately, especially in the last couple of games. 2 quality starts from Giovanni Gallardo and Mike Burns, and it's no secret when the Brewers pitch, they have a great chance to win. That's just the way it is in baseball, not just in Milwaukee.
And not just in Milwaukee. Everybody is talking about how thin the pitching is and how they would like to get longer starts out of their rotation to take the pressure off of that bullpen. Every team is talking about that right now. 7 strong innings yesterday for Burns. And before that, a very good start before that by Giovanni Gallardo. He went 6 innings.
So now it's Looper's turn, and Braden trying to keep it going here. Brewers have won 3 consecutive games for the first time since mid-June when they swept the Cleveland Indians. The Brewers have not won 4 straight since May 16th when they won their 4th consecutive game in St. Louis. That was part of a 7-game winning streak. 1-2 to Lance Berkman. 2-2. The Brewers pitching staff has held Berkman in check in this series. He did reach base 3 times on Friday night, but he is still hitless in this series. He's 0 for 6 with a couple of walks.
Yeah, still trying to find that timing. He was on the DL about 3 weeks. Might be a pretty good time to be catching the Astros and Berkman. Just recently off the DL.
3-2 to Berkman. And he pulls that one over to Lopez in a nice play, a spin and a fire. And a 1-2-3 start for Braden Looper. Here come the Brewers against Roy O. We head to the bottom of the first at Miller Park. .46 games left. The Brewers are 58-58, and this is the lineup that Maka has gone with the last 3 games. He's got the pitcher batting 8th. Braden Looper is in there tonight or today, and Alcides Escobar has really been a spark plug at the bottom of the order, batting 9th. The Subway lineup for Ken Maka. That lineup will face Roy Oswalt, trying to bounce back from back spasms, Rock, and this will be his second start since returning.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report. It's been since 2007 since Oswalt has pitched at Miller Park. He's 5-6 against the Brewers here in Milwaukee. 135 wins, the most since 2001 in baseball. He's a power pitcher with a good fastball, throws hard, and he's been throwing a lot of sliders.
Felipe Lopez going after the first pitch, fouling it into the seats. Oswalt 6-4, 3.87 ERA. And by all accounts, a down season for Roy Oswalt, but he's been nursing a balky back most of the season. He didn't go on the disabled list. He just missed a couple of weeks. Finally returned on Tuesday against Florida. And in 5+ innings, he gave up 9 hits and 6 runs. He has struggled here at Miller Park in his career, and a pretty good sample size as well. 13 starts, an ERA over 5.
Yeah, 5.19 to be exact, and just the opposite in Houston. Got very good numbers throughout his career against the Brewers.
Oh, 2 on Felipe Lopez, and that one is a fair ball down the line. Carlos Lee cuts it off. Lopez on his way to second, and he's in there with a double. Lopez continues his hot hitting. Had 3 hits last night, 3 hits in the opener against the Astros. So 7 hits in the series thus far.
Nice to have that consistent leadoff hitter in there each and every day, whether it's a left-hander or right-hander. Lopez is a switch hitter and has really been swinging the bat well left-handed. A good start to the day for Milwaukee.
A leadoff double for the Brewers, and here's Counsell. He'll do all he can to advance Lopez to third base. Talked about Counsell in the open here today. He's a week shy of his 39th birthday, and yet he continues to play just about every day. Counsell with 3 hits yesterday, and took that one right off the helmet. He's as good of a situational hitter as the Brewers have.
And the Brewers did a pretty good job of that last night.
Oh, a changeup from Oswald. 0-2 the count on Counsell.
Brewers only 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position last night, but they scored 3 runs on outs, a couple of ground balls and a sac fly.
See what Counsell has done on the homestand in 4 games. 5 hits, he's driven in 4. 3 of those last night. Counsell takes a called strike. So Oswald comes back and strikes him out. And Lopez still standing at second base. Well, here comes Ryan Braun. He's had some success against Oswald last year in Houston. He homered not once but twice off Roy Oswald and rocked both of the home runs to the opposite field.
Now Oswald throws it in the mid-90s. He can still get it up there, and Ryan Braun not afraid to take it to the opposite field, particularly when a guy's pumping that fastball away from him. When Ryan's going well, it doesn't matter where they're pitching him. I mean, he'll hit the ball down the line and left, down the line and right. Covers both sides of the plate very well.
Ryan with 25 home runs, 84 driven in. Among league leaders in both categories. Braun starts the day 9th in the league in home runs. And he is 5th in the league in runs batted in. An all-star matchup between Oswalt and Ryan Braun. Lopez still at second. Counsell unable to advance him. Outfield is very deep for Houston. The best arm in the outfield is Hunter Pence in right, and Braun sends one deep to left. Carlos Lee looks up. She's gone. A 2-run home run for Braun. And another quick strike for the Brewers. 2-0 in the first inning.
Hey, you can't keep that guy hitless very long. He was hitless in yesterday's ball game, was Ryan. Looked like a slider from Oswald, a breaking ball. It's exactly what it was. The cement mixer didn't do anything, just spun up there, and Ryan able to wait back and bang it. Hit it hard out of here to left.
Number 26 for Ryan Braun. He now has 86 runs batted in. And an early lead for the Crew, 2-0 in the first.
That's 11 home runs for the Brewers on this homestand.
Powerball home run leaderboard still has Fielder at the top, but Braun is closing fast. He's been on a home run binge here lately. Fielder sitting on 29 homers. He's one away from another 30 homer 100 RBI season. Prince has already achieved the 100 RBIs this year. The bouncer out to Matsui, and it's out number 2. So Ryan Braun gives the Brewers the early lead against Oswald. It showed you he homered twice last year to the opposite field, and he's able to pull one this season.
Little haircut for Brawny.
The summer cut.
DeFelice must have been busy in that clubhouse today.
Yeah, Mark DeFelice, the resident barber for the Brewers. He said he only works for tips, and you know, working for tips at a major league clubhouse can be pretty lucrative.
That is good. That's good pay.
Or you can get stiffed. You know, it's a risky run. There's DeFelice. Check that Astros defense for you with Carlos Lee, Michael Bourne, Hunter Pence in the outfield, Blum, Keppinger, Matsui, and Berkman around the horn, with Pudge Rodriguez, a future Hall of Fame catcher, catching Roy Oswald. Ball and 2 strikes on Cameron. Cameron sends one deep to left. That's way back. And that one is foul. Just got out in front of it and hooks it foul.
A lot of off-speed pitches by Oswalt to start the game. Cameron out in front, just couldn't wait back long enough to keep it fair. And just as got to the foul pole, hook foul.
Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Well, still good velocity for Oswalt. A pitcher and back problems is not a good combination. Cameron's worked at full, 3-2. Mike with 16 home runs this year, 49 driven in. And Oswalt strikes him out. Side retired, but the Brewers put up a 2 spot as Ryan Braun belts his 26th of the year.
Phone or iPod Touch to purchase.
I'll be keeping an eye on that Major League scoreboard today. A couple of games the Brewers are interested in. The 2 teams in front of them in the National League Central. Cardinals host the Padres. That game is underway and scoreless. And the Cubs and the Pirates a little bit later. Carlos Lee rolls one to Counsell. Those 2 are getting to know each other quite well here the last couple of days. One gone in the 2nd inning leads us to our carsoup.com email the booth question. Why is there a warning track to the wall? And is it the same in every park? Rebecca from Milwaukee wants to know.
Well, they're not the same in every park. I mean, the Miller Park warning track is 24 feet wide, and it's a dirt track. A lot of the warning tracks around baseball are synthetic material and not as deep. But you have him out there so that an outfielder, when he goes back on a fly ball, kind of gets a sense of when he's going to be approaching the wall. It's more of a protection type mechanism out there. But the warning tracks also are used so the utility vehicles that are used to to groom the field don't ride on the grass. You can see the tire tracks.
I was talking to Frank Catalanato earlier today, and as he has started to play more right field, he says the warning track here at Miller Park, it's obviously wider than most. He says it's 5 steps. It's a 5 count to the wall. Once he feels the dirt under his cleats, he knows he has 5 steps before he hits that wall. Whereas most major league ballparks, it's a 3-stepper.
Well, when Miller Park first opened in 2001, you saw a lot of visiting team outfielders really have a tough time with that wall because of that. They felt as though they were against the wall a lot sooner than they actually were because of that deep warning track.
Something we see on occasion, a visiting outfielder leaping in the air too soon. What's great about the wall here in the outfield scenario at Miller Park, the fence is 8 feet high, and there's always that potential to pull one back to make that home run saving catch, which I like. I think that's a great feature. I think, you know, you look at Cleveland and even the new Citi Field in New York, that opportunity is not there at some parts of the wall because the wall is so high.
Well, that's an exciting play.
I love that play. Remember that catch Mike Cameron made earlier this year when he pulled one back. Had the warning track under his spikes. He knew when to jump. And he made a great catch. One of the best of the year.
Of course, that low wall cost Prince Fielder a grand slam early in the year.
It giveth and it taketh away.
Yes.
2 outs for Hunter Pence. Pence homered yesterday. 2-run home run in the 7th inning. The only 2 runs that Mike Burns allowed in his 7 innings. That had to be a great feeling for Burns to not only win a game but pitch like he did against the team that drafted him and brought him to the big leagues. Escobar makes the play. 3 ground ball outs for Braden Looper and a sawed-off bat.
Night in Appleton. He went 3 1/3 and threw 39 pitches, gave up 4 earned runs with 5 hits, but said he does feel better and not concerned with the results. Mike Jones was also promoted to Nashville, and J.J. Hardy in his first game with the Nashville Sound hit a home run, went 1 for 4. And one more update I want to give you guys, and that is that Dave Bush as well as Seth McClung have both made progress since going on a disabled list. So good news for both. Bush will make a rehab start on Tuesday, and Seth McClung continues to have bullpen sessions. That is very encouraging. So a lot of pitching news for you guys.
Yeah, a lot of news going on for sure. Thanks, Telly, for rounding all that up. And the Brewers are certainly hoping to get healthy soon. 2/5 of their starting rotation on the disabled list.
And bottom of the order doing a bang-up job in yesterday's ball game. 4 base hits. They were on 7 times, starting with Frank Catalanato. He's on base again.
Catalanato had 2 hits yesterday and a walk. He was on base 3 times. Enjoying the playing time. He's been a bench player for so long. Catalanato gets the starts on most days when a right-handed starting pitcher is on the mound. He and Jody Garrett splitting time, but there is a pretty firm platoon in right field right now until Corey Hart returns. Jason Bourgeois will get most of the starts against left-handed starting pitchers, and Catalanato against right-handers.
Well, and lately, everybody really has been contributing. They've been living up to their end of the bargain. It's been tough for Ken Maka to, put certain guys on the bench, but whatever he's been doing, the rotation that he's been using, at least recently, last week or so, has been working out pretty well. Brewers currently 9th in the National League in batting average, and a couple of weeks ago they were next to last. So they're starting to put the hits together. Double-digit hit totals every game in this homestand.
Kendall serves one to right. Pence backing up. Well, you can tell the ball is really traveling here. And one gone in the second inning. Ryan Braun with a 2-run homer in the first has the Brewers on top 2-0. His third home run off Roy Oswalt in the last couple of seasons. And here's the pitcher Braden Looper, likely up there to bunt with one out. Looper has his batting average up to .209 to start the day, which is a significant story. I think he started the year 1 for 20 maybe, or maybe 1 for 21 at the plate, and then has caught fire since. He has 9 hits and 43 at-bats this season.
And very comfortable in that number 8 spot. He's spent a couple of years in St. Louis in that 8th spot in the order.
Good bunt here for Braden Looper, his 8th sacrifice bunt of the year. And a runner in scoring position for Alcides Escobar.
Hey, good technique for Loop. Get that bat out in front. You see the barrel of the bat above the handle, and it's impossible to pop it up when you do that. Right on the ground and deadens it nicely.
I'll see if the young Escobar can cash in for the Brew Crew in the second. He's been swinging the bat well. 4 hits in 11 at-bats since his promotion to the major leagues on Wednesday. Brewers made wholesale changes following the game Tuesday night. J.J. Hardy and Bill Hall both sent out. Hardy to AAA. Hall was designated for assignment, and Bill Castro, the Brewers pitching coach, was relieved of his duties. Escobar, Taco Bell, who's hot, 3 for 7 in the series. Yesterday had 2 hits and 4 at-bats. He scored twice as well.
And he's been burning up the base paths. Did a nice job going from first to third in yesterday's ball game on a line drive. Ken Maka likes the energy that he brings to the lineup, meaning his ability to steal bases and take the extra base.
Three 3-0 on Escobar. 3-1. I've been impressed with Escobar's ability to hit the breaking ball. He's hung in there nicely on a couple of breaking balls. Matter of fact, of his 4 hits, 3 of them have come on either sliders or curveballs.
Taking the ball up the middle into the opposite field. Not a guy that's going up there trying to pull it.
See what Oswalt has in mind for him at 3-2. Catalanado is ready to run. He'll be on the move with a crack of the bat. And a fastball, and Escobar pops it up. Matsui will make the call and the catch in fair territory. And the inning is over. The Brewers fail to score. 2-0 Milwaukee as we head to the third. and by Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. Another sellout crowd at Miller Park today. Big crowd on hand to see the final game of this series. Final game of the homestand here as well. The Brewers struggled against the Padres. They dropped the first two games of that series against San Diego, but then won the finale, and they have won the first two against Houston. So 3 in a row, trying to make it 4 straight with a victory today before they hit the road tomorrow.
Man, nice to get back to 500. You don't want to be spending too much time under 500. The Brewers got 3 under and able to get back to even. 58 and 58.
Meanwhile, the Astros 5 games under now, 56 and 61. They are in 4th in the Central, behind the Brewers.
Yeah, so far Loup doing a pretty good job keeping the baseball down. We talked about the first 2 outs that he was able to get in the air, and the last 4 on the ground. That's what you like to see from Looper. He's got to avoid making mistakes up in the strike zone. That's when he gives up the home runs.
Looper took a loss his last time out, gave up 11 hits and 7 runs against San Diego, 5 of those earned. But he pitched well against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, picking up the win against one of the better offensive clubs in baseball. Looper gave up just 1 run and 4 hits in 6 2/3 against Los Angeles. His goal to start the year was to achieve 200 innings. And he's managed to stay healthy this year. He's at 139 innings now. It's always a goal for starting pitchers. 30-plus starts, 200 innings pitched. Little roller, going to be a tough play. Kendall jumps on it and cannot secure the out. Pudge Rodriguez still has decent speed and able to beat that one out for an infield hit.
Yeah, not much you can do about that. I mean, Jason Kendall about as good as it gets, getting out from behind home plate and fielding his position, just not able to get it soon enough, and Rodriguez able to beat it. Hey fans, join Casey McGee and Palermo's Pizza in supporting United Cerebral Palsy by purchasing a $149 package that includes a Gale Club ticket for Friday, September 4th, and an autographed Casey McGee bat. Call 902-HITS or visit brewers.com/Casey for details.
Well, it's a great function, and glad to be behind it. Casey McGee's son Mac has a cerebral palsy, and he's been quite the superstar here in Milwaukee, especially after he threw out the first pitch on the last homestand. He's more recognized around town than Casey is.
And that's fine by Casey.
Keppinger skies one into right center. Cameron makes the catch for out number 1. You can just tell the ballpark has a hitterish feel to it. You know, not many hits yet, but even that fly ball Keppinger just hit just kept traveling and traveling. The ball is going to go here if you get it.
Well, Brewer pitching has done a nice job against San Diego. Only 12 hits in 2+ games, including that one by Ivan Rodriguez. And what a difference a series makes, huh? San Diego banged out 48 hits.
Yep. And the Astros with 2 runs and 6 hits on Friday, 2 runs, 5 hits last night. The only hit today, an infield hit by Rodriguez. Oswald gets a good bunt down. 2 outs. But Pudge advances into scoring position for the top of the order. Schinberger, that's what they call that. I don't remember that. When did that happen, Rock? Is that a foul ball?
I don't know.
That looks fresh.
He didn't go down on the ground, did he?
Looks
did
like
he slide into second base?
Looks like a rosy red Schinberger. Had the look of a baseball to it.
They never know. I mean, back behind home plate, no telling what's going to hit you and when. Might get it with a bat.
Oh, look at that.
Little welt, perfectly round. That does look like a baseball. Did he foul one off when he was up?
That's what I was wondering.
I mean, he must have. That's a spot where you have the shin guard. It doesn't happen when you catch.
It's a little show and tell right now with
Jim Reynolds enjoying it.
Oh yeah, that's a good one there. Well, this one's trouble. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Rodriguez scores, and the speedy Michael Bourne on his way to third base. He's in there with a triple. The National League leader in triples. Puts one more on his tally. That's his 10th and an RBI, and the Astros are on the board.
Well, that's a double for just about everybody else, but Michael Bourne, that guy can fly. I mean, he is having a nice year. Looper, one of the few pitches that he's left up in the strike zone. Looked like an off-speed pitch, and Bourne able to wade back because it was up in the zone, able to hit it hard into right center. That's pull the Astros to within 1 run. That's a perfect spot right there. That Rodriguez little welt on his leg for. You remember the ethyl chloride, the silver tooth,
the freeze spray?
Yeah, they don't use that anymore. It must not be safe.
That didn't concern him when you were playing.
No.
You'd go through a can of that a week.
Yeah, why not? Felt good. Stopped hurting.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
You know what they use that thing for now? Getting gum off of pants and shirts. So back in the day, I guess we were the guinea pigs, and all of a sudden, that's maybe why I don't have any feeling in my lower leg.
That's probably why.
Just froze all the nerves.
But no gum will ever stick there again.
No.
The 0-2 to Matsui. Missed inside.
We didn't know any better.
All right, we finally found it. A foul ball right off his shin. That was before the infield hit.
Case closed.
There you go. Glad we solved that mystery. Humberto Quintero is the Astro standing in front of him. He's just making sure Pudge doesn't want to come out of the game. It's probably encouraging him that, that looks pretty bad, Pudge. Maybe you want to take a seat the rest of the day. 2-2. Count goes full, 3-2.
Hey, wrap the tape around it just to keep the swelling down a bit. Problem becomes when you try and get that tape off. It has a tendency to take off some hair.
Looper trying to get through this third inning. A run is in on a 2-out triple by Bourne. It's 2-1 Brewers. Ryan Braun homered in the first inning to give the Crew the quick start today. Full count to Matsui. Just foul. So Bourne is the league leader with 10 triples. Craig Counsell, along with 2 others, tied for 5th with 7. You expect it from Bourne. I'm not sure about Craig Counsell, but this is a triples ballpark. Looper gets Matsui, lets him get away with a fastball away.
Yeah, that's
runners at the corners.
That's the last thing you want, having to deal with Berkman and Carlos Lee. Brewers have done a nice job keeping Berkman quiet. That's not going to last forever.
So some damage here with 2 outs. An infield hit to start this inning from Pudge Rodriguez. He was bunted to second. Bourne tripled him home, and now Matsui has walked. And Berkman's up there with 2 on and 2 outs.
Well, you can just tell that Berkman's timing is a bit off, because that's a pitch that he ordinarily is going to hit hard somewhere. Look at that. Fastball middle in, and Berkman wondering, how did I not hit that?
Checking his bat for holes. He had the same look yesterday on a couple of pitches in the middle of the strike zone. Kendall sets up inside again. 1-1 to Berkman.
Yeah, Mike Burns did a nice job setting him up in one particular at bat, a couple of high fastballs and a slider.
Burns said he got back to his fastball more yesterday, and that's why he had so much success. Berkman sends one high in the air to center, playable for Cameron. No further damage done for Braden Looper. The Astros get a run. It's 2-1 Brewers. Milwaukee coming to bat, the top of the order when we continue. Houston, 2-1 Brewers lead it as Felipe Lopez leads off this third inning against Roy Oswalt. Lopez extending his hitting streak to 11 games with a double in the first. An 11-game hit streak, and during the streak, including his hit in the first inning, Rocky's batting .409.
And I really don't think there's a coincidence in, the time that Lopez was added to the club, and the continuity in that offense is why they're scoring so many runs. And just a professional hitter that hits the ball where it's pitched, and particularly very good at pitches down in the strike zone. He does that just about every night, taking a pitch that's low, but it's ordinarily a good pitch.
Hey, just a reminder, next Saturday the Brewers will be in action on the road, but you can watch Fox Saturday Baseball between the Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Fox Saturday Baseball, 3 p.m. only on Fox. And then catch the Crew and the Nationals later that day. Counsell yanks one foul. Counsell, we talked about him in our open today, and Craig Counsell, if you look at his power numbers this year, his slugging percentage for his career is .344. His slugging percentage this year is .431.
And his batting average hasn't suffered at all. He's having a tremendous year. On base percentage around .370. That's what you want out of the top of your order, guys. Getting on base, doesn't matter how. You can't get off too far, or Rodriguez will pick you off.
Slugging percentage is a measurement of power. It measures doubles, triples, home runs, and total bases. And the Council, last year his slugging percentage was .302, .431 this season. That one is going to turn into a double play. 4-6-3. Council with one swing of the bat wipes out the lead base runner. 2 gone in this 3rd inning. So 2 outs, nobody on for Braun, who yanked one out his last time up. Braun with his 26th home run of the year and his 3rd homer against Roy Oswalt in the last 2 seasons. Braun was hitless yesterday, had 2 home runs in the opener on Friday against the Astros. So all 3 of his hits have been long balls in this series. Our U.S. Cellular text to vote question. We've been running this all week. We'll wrap it up today, give you the final results. Who you think the best Brewers closer is? Fingers, Plesac, Wickman, or Fetters? The options. And the number is 234-234. That one's down the line. That's a foul ball. Wow, that was close.
Not by much, and I don't think Berkman touched it, but if he had touched it, it would have been close to being a fair ball. That first base umpire, Tim Welke, right on it. Off the handle, slices it down the line. You can see barely foul. It bounces before it gets to first base, so it doesn't necessarily have to bounce in fair territory.
And a lazy pop up to Pence, and that is the inning. So Oswalt gives up a leadoff single, but a double play and a pop out ends it.
For fans to watch a Brewers game in one of the Miller Park party suites, with their hosts for the evening being noted Brewers alumni like Gorman Thomas, Larry Heisel, and our own Davey Nelson. And guests are having an opportunity to enjoy the game and talk baseball with these former Brewers in the suite life. And fans will watch the game from the 1957 Milwaukee Braves and the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers party suites. And I'm up here now, and it's been a great opportunity for these fans to do so. And there's a lot of food and fun to be had inside, and as much cooler inside as well. So they get an opportunity to talk baseball with some of the greats, and as you can see, Davey's making his presence known right now. So, but he's been one of the guys entertaining them, and these fans have been having a great time up here. Hey, David, how have you been enjoying the interaction with these guys?
Well, it's been great with all the fans up here, and we've been asking a lot of baseball questions, but the food's pretty good, too.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you go to work in there. So we'll let Davey get back to entertaining, and we'll send it back to the booth.
Crushing the spread, as usual. Looks like a good time up there.
Did you see Gorman up there?
Well, it's a pretty good bet where Gorman is.
By the food?
Next to the buffet, I would imagine. Base runner at first on a hit from Carlos Lee, and now Blum sends one to Cameron in center field. And the first out of the inning. So a runner on with one away, and that leads us to today's Aflac trivia. Duck wants to know, what was the original name of the Houston Astros?
That's an easy one.
They used to play outdoors, believe it or not, in Houston before the Astrodome.
Remember the first year of the Astrodome and had a glass roof?
They had natural grass.
Natural grass didn't last long.
Mickey Mantle hit the first home run in the Astrodome in an exhibition game. The Yankees came to town. Yeah, they had the grounds crew wearing these space suits.
Grass turned brown after what, about 3 weeks?
Yeah, it didn't last long. And to watch an Astros game prior to them being named the Astros, a Houston Major League game, was quite an endurance challenge in the middle of the summer in Houston, Texas. Hot, humid, and mosquitoes the size of small birds.
Everything big in Texas.
The Astrodome, the eighth wonder of the world, they called it. Did you ever play in the Astrodome?
No, never did. Did a couple of broadcasts from there when the Brewers were in Houston for interleague play.
That was a great place to pitch.
Yeah.
The Astrodome. Cavernous.
You can make a lot of mistakes on the mound pitching in that ballpark.
Well, they were ahead of its time. What's interesting about the Astrodome, its configuration, there was a model as early as the 50s, the mid 50s, when Peter O'Malley, the Dodgers owner, prior to the Dodgers moving from Brooklyn to Los Angeles, O'Malley had this grand idea that there would be a stadium there in Brooklyn, and it could possibly be a dome stadium. And it was kind of built on the shell of County Stadium here in Milwaukee. And then, of course, put the roof on it. And that stadium looked a lot like what the Astrodome ended up looking like. And now you see retractable roof stadiums and dome stadiums all over.
Had some good ideas, didn't he?
Man.
He really did.
Fascinating to find not only the evolution of the stadium and how quaint little ballparks turned into big stadiums like this one. Not that this isn't quaint, but it's much different from what Ebbets Field looked like. To accommodate the fans.
Well, the outside kind of patterned after Ebbets Field, the facade, the outside, and as is Citi Field in New York.
We were talking last inning about this being a triples ballpark. Council had a triple yesterday, Michael Bourne earlier today, and that really was the idea in the design of Miller Park. They wanted it to open up some excitement for the offense, and one of the most exciting plays in baseball is the triple. It was Robin Yount who was instrumental in the design of the configuration of the outfield. Two and two the count on Pudge Rodriguez with 2 outs in the inning.
Keep your eye on Carlos Lee, because he's one of those guys that'll lull you to sleep over there. He'll take about a 2-foot lead and all of a sudden just take off and catch you napping and end up in scoring position.
Another little bouncer. Kendall, a much easier play this time, and that's the inning. So a leadoff single, the first of the series by Carlos Lee, goes for naught. A scoreless fourth for Looper.
before August 31st for your chance to win a visit to your classroom by a Brewers player. Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save.
Well, some thunderstorms around the area, so the roof is closed up today. It's warm in the ballpark. And a 2-1 Brewers lead. Ryan Braun hit a 2-run home run in the first inning off Oswalt. He's held the Brewers scoreless the last 2 innings, and now Fielder leads off. He'll be followed by Cameron, then Catalanato. Fielder hit one of the longest home runs ever hit here at Miller Park on this homestand. A little slow roller out to Blum. And he takes care of Prince for out number 1. Aflac trivia today. Take you back a ways. The original name of the Houston Astros. Aflac. And there they were, the Colt 45s. They had a cool hat and a cool logo. Had the pistol and the navy and orange. Went to the Astros when they went to the Astrodome. Joined the league in '62 and '65. They changed the name and moved inside the Astrodome.
And every offensive record is either been or will be shattered for the Astros because of that.
Minute Maid Park, a much more hitter-friendly ballpark than the Astrodome.
Yeah, but guys like Roy Oswalt continue to be successful. I mean, if you can pitch, I guess you can pitch anywhere. 135 wins for Oswalt, the most of any pitcher in the major league since 2001. Roy Halladay and CC Sabathia right behind him at 130 wins.
Oswalt's had a hard time staying healthy this year. It was a quick rise to the big leagues for Roy Oswalt. I saw his Double-A debut. He was promoted from Single-A. He was supposed to pitch 1 game in Double-A and then return to Kissimmee. He struck out 15 that day in 7 innings. His pitching coach was Bert Hooten. And Bert Hooten said, you know, after the game, the questions were, are you going to send this guy back to Single-A? He goes, Single-A, we may send him straight to the big leagues.
Yeah. Well, they had to ship his all of his stuff to Double-A. Never to see Kissimmee again. Hey, he's been something else. I mean, has been able to adjust, adapt. He's had injury problems, not so much to his arm. You know, leg problems, back problems.
Oswalt was drafted originally in '96. He signed out of high school, and he was in the big leagues at the age of 23 in 2001. And he hit the big leagues running. He was 14-3 his rookie year. He finished 5th in the Cy Young Award voting that year. He was 2nd in Rookie of the Year back in '01. He's been a 20-game winner. The guy he was competing for Rookie of the Year had a pretty decent year as well. Albert Pujols hit 37 homers and drove in 130 runs that season.
And hasn't slowed down at all. He's getting better. Remember that big slow curveball that Oswalt used to throw? Haven't seen that this year.
Yeah.
Didn't see it in Houston. Didn't see it so far here today. He throw it about 60 miles an hour. And it's more like, it's more or less sliders now as opposed to that big curveball. You know, talking to some of the folks that follow the Astros, saying that there are times in the bullpen where he has the feel for it and he'll use it in the game, and sometimes he just won't even break it out at all during a game, and that seems to be what's happened here today.
Well, he is locked in right now. 3 up, 3 down inning with a couple of strikeouts. Oswalt, 3 scoreless innings. Brewers lead the Astros. And let's get you caught up here if you're just joining us. Ryan Braun, a 2-run homer in the first. Michael Bourne, an RBI triple, drove in the first Astros run. Braden Looper, through 4 innings, he's given up 3 hits and just a lone run, which came in the 3rd inning. And Looper back on the bump, starts his 5th inning of work. Jeff Keppinger leads off. Keppinger, then Oswalt, and then back to the top of the order. The Brewers have played so well here the last 3 games. They have not trailed in a game since Wednesday when they lost to San Diego 6-5. Beat the Padres 12-9 on Thursday. Won the first 2 games of this series 11-2 and 6-2.
Well, and in a game where you're facing Roy Oswalt, you would figure that runs to be tough to come by. So, Looper gets out on that mound, realizes he's going to have to, keep the offense down for the Astros, because you don't figure Oswalt to give up too much. And so far, so good. He's only walked 1, and ordinarily when Looper has his problems, he's walking batters and giving up homers. Nobody figured it was going to be a 12-run outburst today against Oswalt. But you never know. Nobody thought that against Wandy Rodriguez.
Right. Now that was the shocker of the series. And while Oswalt is still the Astros ace, this year Rodriguez has been their best pitcher. Rodriguez came into the game on Friday with the 4th best ERA. As Counsell makes a nice play on a nasty little hop there at the end. It hit the lip, bounced up, and Counsell makes the play for out number 1. Here's where we stand with our U.S. Cellular text to vote question. Best Brewers closer of all time. 77% of you going with Raleigh Fingers. I see Dan Plesac's been busy texting.
And Sackman, a pretty good closer for the Brewers. He was there a long time. Of course, Raleigh Fingers won the Cy Young Award and MVP while he was a Brewer. That'll get you some votes.
Looper and Oswalt both have sacrifice bunts as hitters in this game. Oswalt sends one to left. That's pretty well hit. And Braun able to run it down for the out. 2 gone. Top of the order, Michael Bourne coming up. He is responsible for the lone RBI for the Astros today. He tripled with 2 outs, driving in Pudge Rodriguez, who had reached on an infield hit. 10th triple of the year for Bourne, which leads the National League. A lot of folks might not know that the career saves leader for the Milwaukee Brewers franchise is Dan Plesac by a good margin. Cordero was on his way, but he took his skills elsewhere.
Saves back in Plesac's time were a lot different than they were when Raleigh Fingers was picking up saves. I mean, Raleigh Fingers would get 2+ inning saves back in those days. That's the way it was. So you're not going to get the big numbers. But when you pick up a save and pitch 2 1/3, 2 2/3, that's doing something.
Yeah.
And those are the days when you only needed 10 guys on your pitching staff, 5 starters and 5 relievers, when your closers, eating up 2 innings.
We've seen pitching staffs with as many as 14 pitchers.
I remember back in the 80s when the Brewers were contemplating going to an 11-man pitching staff, and everybody was talking about that as something unusual. Back in the early to mid 80s.
Well, the year Raleigh Fingers won the MVP and the Cy Young in the same year, that was his first year in Milwaukee. That was '81. And to give you an idea, he led the league in saves with 28.
Right.
A bouncer, Escobar takes the big hop. Good play to get a speedy board. And a 1-2-3 inning for Braden Looper. Your world delivered. Jason Kendall leads off and rips one to left, and a base hit for Kendall. A single for Jason Kendall as he jumps on the first pitch from Oswald.
Yeah, Carlos Lee very lucky. He's able to keep that ball in his glove. That ball gets by him. Jason might be able to get into third base. Caught it on a short hop. Kind of a risky move by Lee. And I think he realizes it, the look on his face.
Had it all the way, El Caballo.
Wears his emotions on his sleeve, doesn't he? He has a good time playing baseball. He really does.
But that was a lucky play. Oh, Oswald had a chance at second and botches it. Boy, he had it right in his wheelhouse. And he started to throw the baseball before it was in his glove. Kendall was dead to rights at second base if Oswald comes up with this one.
Yeah, see the head come up and wasn't able to get the ball in his glove, but he did get the out at first base. That's the key. Always have to get an out on the bunt.
Sacrifice bunt for Looper. Could have turned into a double play. At least an out at second base for the lead runner. So here's Escobar. Now Alcides is 0 for 1. He popped up with a man in scoring position in the second. He'd like to deliver a run here in the fifth. Escobar still looking for his first RBI of the season in the big leagues. Primarily was a leadoff hitter in AAA. He drove in 34 runs in 109 games in AAA this year. Actually had more stolen bases than he did RBIs. 22-year-old from La Sabana, Venezuela. And like most Venezuelan baseball players, he grew up idolizing Omar Vizquel.
Yeah, he doesn't even look 22, does he?
How about this, Rock? He was born in 1986.
Wow.
He'll turn 23 in December.
$1986, huh? I think I hit about $150 that year.
I could see your mental Rolodex flipping by.
What was I doing?
Where'd the time go?
Wow.
How old's your son now?
21.
He's 21.
Yeah.
So not yet the age of your child.
Yeah, born in '87. Yeah.
That day's coming, Rock. Get ready. Escobar does not have a run batted in the major leagues.
Yeah, I have pants older than Escobar.
And he's wearing some today.
Getaway day. Got to break out the good stuff.
Of course, they've made a few trips to the tailor. You'd be amazed at how much they can let out of those pants.
Yeah. Every year they shrink more.
Escobar was telling me he had a chance to meet Vizquel this spring. And he said he was so proud because Vizquel told him Vizquel was playing with the Texas Rangers and they train in Arizona. He watched Escobar start and play an entire game. And he told Escobar he's got great hands and he's got a chance to be a great major leaguer. Man, that just made his day.
Yeah, that'll give you confidence coming from somebody like that. Hey, today's time of the game winner is Tattletale's Bar and Grill in Elko, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a 2009 Brewers home game. It's offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Now 2 gone, back to the top of the order. And the hottest hitter the Brewers have right now, and Felipe Lopez has a double and a single today against Oswalt. Lopez doubled and scored on Braun's homer in the first.
You got to wonder how willing they're going to be to throw in strikes. Of course, Roy Oswalt, not a guy that really backs down from any hitter. There is an unbelievable amount of room in right center. Michael Bourne very shallow in center field, and Pence not very deep either. Well, you shoot one into that gap and it's a triple.
Jason Kendall at second. Started this inning with a single and was bunted to second by Looper. 2 outs in the inning. The Brewers lead 2-1. And Rodriguez quickly out to the mound, perhaps changing the signs.
He barely had that ball in his glove, and he was on his way out to the pitcher's mound to have a chat with him.
Cecil Cooper hoping his ace can go deep into this game. A beleaguered bullpen here in Houston. And that hit him. Caught a piece of his shirt. Untucks the shirt. Lopez will take first base.
Well, that first pitch, I think Rodriguez went out there because the ball maybe had a little bit too much of the plate. Wanted to crowd him with the fastball. Actually took the shirt right out of his pants. Didn't want to give him anything out over the plate.
All right, well, the Brewers have 2 on now. And Counsell coming up. Counsell's had a tough day against Oswalt. Oswalt struck him out looking in the first inning, and then he rolled into a 4-6-3 double play last time up. Pulls that one foul. Just missed it.
He's attacking early, isn't he? I mean, last time up, he hooked one, almost hit one out, but hooked it foul. First pitch this time up, hit a bullet down the line.
No balls and a strike on Counsell. That one's in there. Hits the corner. That's a pitch Oswalt struck him out on in the first inning.
Had good command of that fastball today. Been able to put it where he wants to. He makes a mistake inside. He got a piece of Lopez, but the only real mistake he's made was with the breaking pitch.
Right off the end of the bat, Keppinger makes the play, and the Brewers strand a pair. Come up empty in the fifth. 2-1 Milwaukee. the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go, there's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Boy, isn't that a beautiful sight? Sold out Miller Park on a Sunday afternoon, and with some thunderstorms around the area, the roof is closed up tight today. Good pitchers match up so far through the first 5 innings. 2-1, the Brewers lead it. Matsui drops a bunt down, and Looper will wisely let it roll foul. Almost a bunt single by Matsui. Good idea. Well, Matsui last night with an infield hit, picking up his 2,000th career hit combined between the Japanese major leagues and the major leagues. And because of that hit, Matsui enters his name into a prestigious Japanese baseball club. It's called the Golden Players Club. It takes 200 wins or 250 saves as a pitcher or 2,000 hits as a position player. It's a club that is co-chaired by Sadahara Oh, and it's kind of the precursor for a Hall of Fame induction. It's for active players. And you saw the ceremony from last night. They put the Navy blazer on them, and they televised that event, sent it back to Japan last night. That's how big of a deal it is.
Yeah, Ichiro actually has over 3,200 hits. They're combined between Japan and Major League Baseball.
I want to remind you, it's time to get your registration forms in. Fantasy Camp is coming up January 31st through February 7th. Call 262-679-3612, or you can log on to the web at brewers.com/fantasycamp. Always a great time. You can test your skills with some of the legends of Brewers past, and a great coaching staff already assembled.
And Pat List asked. We've got Rick Manning coming back. Cecil Cooper is asked to come back, and how can you say no to Coop?
He's a big league manager for crying out loud.
January 31st to February 7th, and camp is starting to fill up. So if you're thinking about it, as our logo or our theme is, put your game face on and sign up.
I think you should hand out some sort of blazer for the fantasy camper who gets the most hits. You know, the most hits.
Oh, we have awards. We have awards.
Kangaroo Court.
Kangaroo Court, where all the money that we raise go to charities. You see some of the stuff that campers are brought up on. Wearing the wrong uniform, not wearing a hat, not wearing a helmet.
Not showering.
Gorman Thomas ordinarily gets showering with your gym shorts on. That's frowned upon.
No shower shoes.
Gorman gets fined more than anybody.
He does. Mostly for not interacting with his team when they're losing. He's a bit of a front runner that way.
Yeah, Gorman's team was undefeated last year up until the championship game where Dale Swaim's team, they were able to beat him the last game of the season. Championship game on the stadium field at Maryvale. Gorman not too happy about that.
No, he's been taking it hard all year. Now Looper trying to weave his way through the 6th. Looper has retired 7 in a row since he gave up a hit to Carlos Lee back in the 4th. The 3-2, and Berkman takes the walk. So Berkman is still hitless in this series, but he's walked 3 times. And a man is on for Carlos Lee, and the Astros quickly bring the go-ahead run to the plate, and a big-time power hitter in Carlos Lee.
Well, Lee with a base hit to center field, the first time that he hasn't hit the ball at great counts on this series.
Carlos Lee, the latest to join the 300 home run club, did that against the Brewers at Minute Maid Park last weekend. What's interesting about Houston, they have 3 players who have hit 300 career home runs or more. The only team to boast that, the first to ever have that. Carlos Lee, Pudge Rodriguez, and Lance Berkman.
And long term, that's a concern for the Astros. They feel as though their shot is right now, this year or even next year, because they've got a team that's getting up there in age. These guys have been around a while. And particularly their starters, their position players.
Claudio Vargas gets loose. Bosio makes a quick trip to the mound.
Yeah, Matsui's been around. Berkman, Carlos Lee, Jeff Blum's been around a while. Von Rodriguez. Even their bench, Miguel Tejada, Darren Erstad. A lot of experience, but you can't last forever.
Got to be careful here. Runner at first, 1 out, and he hits Lee. Fastball right in on him.
You got him right in the ribs.
Well, there's no doubt Bosio wants his pitchers to work inside.
You got him, stuck him right in the ribs that time. There's no way that Looper wanted to do that on purpose, not with a 1-run lead and a man at first already, but you got to try and crowd him with the fastball. There's no doubt about that. You leave it out over the plate, he's going to hit it hard.
Bosio back to the phone.
You know, it's not just a theory for Bosio. He demands it. He makes his guys work inside.
Well, he said as much. Sat down with Bosio his first day on the job here in Milwaukee, and he said that's what we're going to do. We're going to pitch inside. Now, there's a skill to pitching inside. You don't just let it fly, because obviously you run the risk of hit batters. There's a very small window where you can succeed inside.
And it's not trying to hit people. That's not what he's talking about. It's just moving feet, keeping guys off the outside corner.
Well, now Looper needs a ground ball double play to get him out of this mess. Jeff Blum's been tough on the Brewers this year. He's 0 for 2 today. And lays off. Boy, close pitch. 2-0 the count on Blum.
Tough pitch to take. You knew he was geared for that fastball. Looked like one until the last minute. Then just died. Good splitter. He laid off.
No Astro has hit more home runs since the All-Star break than Blum. He's got 6. Yeah, fouls that one away. That was a good pitch to hit for him. Looper a chance to get back in the count. He's been a clutch hitter. Blum on 3 different occasions this year has walk-off hits. That's a lot of love for a foul ball play, huh? Good to see the Grateful Dead here today. That one's well hit to right. Back is Catalanato, and Jeff Blum has done it again. A 3-run home run. And the Astros jump on top quickly.
Right, get behind in the count. You throw the fastball. It's only 91. Now, the key to that at bat for Blum was laying off that splitter on a 1-0 pitch. That was definitely a ground ball potential double play pitch, but he laid off of it, got the count in his favor, and got a fastball out over the plate and knocked it out of here into that Astros bullpen to give him a 2-run lead. That's been tough. He's been a tough out all year for the Brewers.
So Blum with his 7th home run since the All-Star break. That is his 9th of the year. And just like that, the Astros are on top 4-2, and the home run ball continues to haunt Braden Looper. His 30th allowed this season, most in the National League. Still just 1 out, and the Brewers find themselves 2 runs down to Roy Oswalt now as Pence launches one. This is way back in left, and that one is gone. Back-to-back home runs for the Astros. Len Braun is saying that is foul.
And so is Craig Counsell.
Now remember, the crew chief is the first base umpire, Tim Welke, so he's the only one who can request a review.
And you can't ask for a review either. I mean, it's got to be a consensus. If Ted Barrett, third base umpire, feels as though he wants somebody to take a look at it, or if he's unsure, they can do a review. And it looks like it was foul. That ball never did disappear behind that foul pole. You could see it all the way along the foul pole. If it disappears behind the pole, it's a fair ball. If it does not, it's a foul ball. And it looked like it was a foul ball. Let's see if they use the replay booth to get this one right.
There's Tim Welke, the crew chief.
Well, it certainly looked foul on that super slow motion replay, but a lot tougher to call in regular speed. Does the ball ever disappear behind the foul pole? You can see it all the way as it goes. You can see the white on the background of the yellow, which means it's a foul ball.
Well, Tim Welke is on his way to the video replay area. And we'll have a brief timeout here while the umpires look it over. Now, there'll be a group from New York who plays all angles of this from both broadcasts, and they'll give as many angles as Tim Welke needs to make a decision. In the meantime, we want to remind you that Friday, August 21st from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., the Blood Center of Wisconsin will host the Big League Blood Drive at Milwaukee. The drive is a unique way for the Brewers fans to get behind-the-scenes look at Miller Park while saving lives. And since the program started in 2001, the Brewers, along with the Blood Center of Wisconsin, have recruited more than 3,500 volunteers to donate blood at a special setup located in the Miller Park press box. Now, this is probably the best look. Certainly Tim Welke will get this look as well.
As it keeps going, as it goes right at the yellow, you can see the yellow right there. You can tell that that ball clearly goes in front of the foul pole. If it did not go, if it was behind the foul pole, that meant it would have been a fair ball. But it's clearly in the slow motion replay. That's great camera work down there. It should be reversed. That should be a foul ball.
Well, the Brewers have had a number of reviews this year. I believe this is the 6th, and all of them have been reversed at this point.
You can see the ball right there. I mean, you can see the white against the yellow background, and that means it went in front of the foul pole.
And there are the rules for it. Remember, no manager, no player can demand a replay review. It comes solely from Tim Welke, the crew chief. And once he makes his decision, it is final.
And Hunter Pence should be told to go back into the batter's box and finish his at bat, because that was a foul ball.
Now, the 3 umpires that went in have yet to return. Looper is just lightly tossing to stay loose. Umpires always leave one out on the field. And we're expecting Hunter Pence to return to the plate.
You wonder why it's taking him so long. It looks pretty cut and dried to me.
As we mentioned, the facility in New York is the one that issues the replays. We do not. They take our feed and they take the Astros television feed and any other feeds they might have, and they play them back, and they offer all kind of angles. But they don't make the decision in New York. They just play the replays for the crew chief. And this particular shot is
right
the
there.
one that should get it reversed.
Right there. I mean, the ball, you see the white up against the yellow background, which means the ball never does disappear behind the foul pole.
Ken Maka has stated he is not a fan of replay in baseball, but it has helped him on occasion. Now they come back out, and it's a foul ball. There's the signal from Welke. So it's a long, loud strike, and take the run off the board. Still 4-2 Houston.
I tell you, I like the replay. I like it because you get it right, but you just hope that the replay rules stay the way they are, just for home runs. Whether it goes over the fence, fair or foul, you just don't want replay to get any deeper into the game than it already is. Safer out, those types of things, a catch or a no catch. I mean, games would take 4 or 5 hours. Plus, I think the umpires do a pretty good job without it.
Yeah, they get them right most of the time.
And what a bummer for Hunter Pence.
Hang with him. Would have been his 18th homer. Instead, a 2-1 count. And now it's 2-2. Where it gets tricky is when you make a call. You know, that's an easy one there, fair or foul, because the ball ended up, you know, out of play either way. It's either a foul ball or it's a home run. It doesn't affect base runners and what have you. Where it gets tricky is if a ball bounces on a yellow line and comes back and you call it in play and the guy's running and base runners are scrambling everywhere. Where do you put the base runners?
Right.
That's where it gets really tricky. As Pence serves one to Cameron. And out number 2. So the replay turns into an out.
Yeah, when you have men on base and, you know, ball is hit out there in the wall and you call it a home run and you see the replay and it ultimately shows that the ball was not out of the ballpark. I mean, where do you put the base runners? That's happened already this year once.
And at that point, the umpires do the best they can to spot where the base runners are.
Right.
And kind of, you know, you have to use some common sense
and
in that
make their
regard.
best guess. Actually, it happened here at Miller Park, I believe.
So 6 reviews all year for the Brewers in games the Brewers have been involved in, and all 6 have been reversed. Ball and a strike on Rodriguez. Escobar with a nice big hop. And the inning is over, but the Astros score 3 runs with 1 swing of the bat. And the Brewers are now trailing by 2 with Braun leading off. He homered in the first. Brewers need some offense against Roy Oswalt when we continue. Astros on top 4-2 Houston as we head to the home 6th inning. Braun ready to lead off. The Brewers are behind for the first time since their loss against San Diego on Wednesday. That's how good they've been here lately.
Yeah, those 3-run innings with only 1 base hit, they hurt. A walk, a hit batter, and a homer. Ouch.
Oswalt has been tough. Brewers have had some base runners, but when he's needed to, he's been able to get out of some jams. The Crew at 5 hits against Oswalt. Braun then Fielder, and he lines one right off the bag and into center field, a base hit. So Braun, with his 2nd hit of the game, scalds one to center field, and a base runner for the Crew for Fielder.
Hey fans, bring your Thursday game ticket to Potawatomi for a chance to win fabulous prizes with Potawatomi Grand Slam Thursdays. Go to Brewers.com for details.
So here's Prince with a chance to tie it. Fielder sitting on 29 home runs for the season. Another home run, and Fielder would post his third consecutive 30 homer 100 RBI season. Jeremy Burnitz did that on 3 occasions, or did it in 98, 99, and 01, and then Gorman Thomas was the other. So not many have been able to do it 3 different years. Fielder trying to do it in 3 consecutive seasons.
And Gorman Thomas did it in a ballpark that was not very easy to hit home runs, particularly at night, County Stadium.
Oswalt stays away, 2-0.
They're trying to stay away from the power of Prince. Trying to catch the outside corner, not able to do it.
Hitters count for Fielder. Tying run at the plate. Braun is at first. And Prince takes a strike. Threading the needle on the outside corner. Oswalt has had good command of his fastball.
That's not the one Prince was looking for. Looking for something middle in.
Rodriguez sets up out there again. Fielder takes another strike. You can't put 2 fastballs in a better spot than that.
Yeah, right on the corner, down 2-0. All of a sudden 2-2. Now Prince has to protect the plate, perfectly located away.
Those are the kind of pitches that turn into double play balls if you chase them. Rodriguez out there again, and Fielder slaps it foul. This is the spot where Prince goes into his opposite field mode.
And until he has 2 strikes, he doesn't have to swing at pitches that are right on the outside corner. I mean, now with 2 strikes, he has to protect the plate, and that's ordinarily when, as you mentioned, he likes to use left field.
Prince is 0 for 2 against Oswalt. A couple of ground outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braun with a big lead at first. And Fielder hits one high in the air. Deep center field. Way back and gone. Fielder ties it. A 2-run home run. Number 30 for Prince. And it's all even at 4 apiece.
No, he didn't want to put it there. Pudge Rodriguez setting up inside. He sets up inside. Oswalt misses out over the plate, and Prince Fielder a bomb into center field. Wonder why he didn't just stay away. I mean, he was able to throw perfect pitches on the corner away. Tried to come inside, made a mistake, and Prince Fielder, number 30.
And Cameron lines one back up the middle. Almost took Oswalt's hat off. So here come the Brewers in the 6th inning with 3 consecutive hits to start it. And a 2-run homer by Fielder ties the game.
Now the fastball by Oswalt to Prince Fielder was supposed to be on the inside corner. He missed with it. And another big blast into center field for Fielder.
Gives Bernie a chance to slide for the 2nd time today.
That guy is unbelievable, Prince Fielder.
25 years of age, 3 consecutive years, 30 homers, 100 RBIs. And he's got a lot of work to do yet. 46 games remain. A big hit. And the 2 that have carried this team all season long, Braun and Fielder, doing the big damage today against the Astros ace.
That's amazing. You know, that pitch sequence that Oswalt used to try to get Prince was perfect until that last pitch. They tried to come in on Prince, made the mistake. That's what's so dangerous. We were talking about Chris Bosio, the whole philosophy of coming inside, why it's so tough. He just saw why. They miss out over the plate, and a big guy like Fielder, Carlos Lee, Berkman, those kind of guys, they're going to hit home runs. See, Rodriguez has to reach back over the plate, and that's never a good sign for a pitcher.
Casey McGee swinging a bat. Pitcher spot looming. And Catalanato at bat. Kendall is in the on-deck circle, and then the pitcher spot.
Now, what would you rather have? I mean, trying to come inside. We saw Looper try to come inside on Lee, right? He hit him.
Right.
Oswald tries to come inside on Prince Fielder, leaves it out over the plate. So 2 mistakes, 2 different kind of mistakes. But I guess, you know, hitting a batter is not nearly as big a mistake as giving up a home run.
Right. Where do you miss? And it really becomes a story as you get into the 3rd time through the order. Fatigue starts to set in. You get in the 5th and 6th inning. That's why those who can pitch inside successfully are some of the best in the game. It's not an easy thing to do. Everybody wants to. Executing is a whole different story.
So bottom line, you make a mistake inside, you make it off the plate. It's not going to hurt you as bad. Of course, the hit batter came around to score on that, Jeff Blum home run, but still in all, you don't want to miss out over the plate. But some guys just are timid inside because they don't want to hit a batter. They really don't. But what's worse?
You don't see Oswald make mistakes like that too often. Well, he paid for it in the 6th inning. Fielder with a 2-run homer, number 30 of the year. RBIs 104 and 105. Fielder, the major league leader in runs batted in now. Still nobody out. 2-1 on Catalanato. Pitch number 80 for Oswald on the way, and he misses away. And it's 3-1.
It's almost like he hit a wall, just like his last start against the Marlins. He was pitching well up to a certain point in Florida, then had a rough inning similar today.
Jeff Blum, a 3-run homer in the top of the 6th, and the Brewers come right back against Oswald to tie it. And now looking for more. Pretty well located fastball there on a 3-1 pitch.
He still has pretty good mustard.
Cameron has 6 steals. He takes off. Catalanato fouls it away. His fastball has been as high as 95. He's thrown a couple of changeups in there at 65, but we still haven't seen the big looping curveball that has been his signature the last few years. Cameron took off with the last pitch, and Oswald trying to keep him close. Reason to smile for Prince. Cameron goes. Catalanato takes ball 4. And 2 on with nobody out. Well, we've been watching the RBI numbers for Prince Fielder. This is game number 117. And if you look at what Cecil Cooper did, the current Astros manager, when he played for the Brewers in his record-setting year, when he had 126 RBIs, the franchise mark, he had 101 RBIs at this point. But very similar numbers up and down. Fielder has a chance not only to set the RBI record, but he's got a chance to be the first in franchise history to walk at least 100 times. And as Fielder has stated on a number of occasions, his primary goal is to hit 300. He knows the power numbers are going to be there, and he knows if he hits 300, the RBI numbers are going to be there.
That particular runners in scoring position, you saw both of the numbers for Cecil and for Prince, both very good, well over 300.
Now the Brewers hoping to take the lead against Oswald. Nobody out. Kendall up there to bunt, and he gets a beauty down to third. Oswald's only play is first. A sacrifice bunt for Jason Kendall. The 3rd sacrifice bunt of the game for the Brewers. And now 2 in scoring position as Maka goes to his bench for Casey McGee.
And that's about the only time you're going to be able to do that, when you're batting in front of the pitcher. Drop down a sacrifice bunt when you're going to go to the bullpen. Take your pitcher out. Bring up a pinch hitter. And 3 right-handed hitters on the bench, including Casey McGee. 2 of them left-handed hitters. Jody Garrett and Ira Barron, left-handed hitters on the bench.
McGee's had good success coming off the bench. 5 hits, 18 at-bats, and he won't get a chance to swing the bat here, as Oswalt will intentionally walk him. So McGee will be walked. The bases will be loaded. And that'll set the stage for Alcides Escobar. Escobar, for the first time in his major league career, batting with the bases loaded. Still looking for his first major league RBI. He is 0 for 2 against Oswalt today. And a big hack at the first pitch. A fastball from Oswalt.
A high fastball at low 90s for Escobar. You just got to calm down in situations like this. You would imagine his heart's pumping pretty good right here.
Escobar's tough to double up. Just hoping to put one in play. Cameron's at third. He has good speed. Brewers trying to take the lead with 1 out and a bouncer out to short. Escobar on a horse. Matsui's turn, not in time. Cameron scores. The Brewers take the lead. And you cannot teach speed. It buys the Brewers the go-ahead run in this 6th inning.
That's about as routine a double play ball as you're ever going to see. It looked like Oswalt was going to get out of the inning. A couple of hops to short. Escobar on his horse down to first base, realizing he beats that out. It's an RBI. And just barely able to beat the throw.
5-4, the Brewers lead it. Escobar's first career Major League RBI. And it puts the Brewers on top. McGee winning there hard at second base. So runners at the corners now. A long inning for Oswalt. And now he has to deal with Felipe Lopez, who he has not retired today. Lopez with 2 hits and a walk. Eighth batter of the inning for the Brewers. Fielder, a 2-run homer to tie it. Escobar plates one on a fielder's choice. Well, because the Brewers were able to come back in the 6th inning, technically they still have not trailed since Wednesday. If you're going inning by inning.
That's a stretch.
Hey.
But I'm with you.
Technically.
I'm with you.
Work with me here, Rob.
I am. That's a good spot for Escobar to take off right here. Why not? Now, worst case scenario, you get thrown out and you got Lopez to lead off the next inning.
Escobar with 42 steals. Oswalt has a good move to first. And Escobar stays put. Lopez strikes out. And the inning is over. But the Brewers score 3 times. Fielder, his 30th home run of the year. A 2-run shot that ties it. A monumental blast to center. Escobar puts him ahead. on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers head to Pittsburgh tonight, start a 3-game series with the Pirates. Airtime is 5:30 Central every day of the Pittsburgh series. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Hope you'll make plans to join us on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Now the two big boys have done the damage today. Braun with a 2-run homer in the first. Fielder a 2-run homer to tie it in the 6th. Escobar on a fielder's choice drives in the go-ahead run, and it's 5-4 Milwaukee. Claudio Vargas takes over for Looper here in the 7th inning. 16th appearance of the year for Vargas. Most of those coming with the Dodgers earlier this season. He was acquired on trade deadline day while the Brewers were in San Diego.
Well, 8th appearance as a Brewer this year. 7 innings, 3 earned runs, a 3.86 ERA. Last pitched on Friday night.
And a key inning for Vargas. At the bottom of the Astros order, but he'll deal with a pinch hitter next as Oswalt's afternoon is done. Astros get 3 runs in the 6th inning on a Jeff Blum homer to take the lead 4-2. Brewers answer with 3 of their own against Roy Oswalt. Impressive on its own. Little bouncer to Counsell. He plays it into a manageable hop, and 1 gone in the 7th.
Brewers very happy to have Claudio Vargas in the fold, a guy that can give you some big velocity from time to time. Guy's going to throw some strikes. Ordinarily, he's going to work away. Doesn't like to come inside all that much. Ken Maka much happier and much more confident in his bullpen right now than he did a couple of weeks ago.
He's picked up a lot of good arms. Vargas, a lot like Todd Coffey, doesn't throw quite as hard as Coffey, but does have a very good sinker, and he's the kind of guy you feel confident in bringing into a situation with runners on. He's the kind of guy that can get a lot of ground ball double plays. He pitches with nobody on here in the 7th, and unlike when he was a starter, as a reliever he works from the stretch no matter what. Facing Darren Erstad, Astros pinch hitter.
And this was normally the trouble inning, last few weeks before the acquisition started, and the 6th, 7th inning before you're able to get to Todd Coffey and Trevor Hoffman. Now Ken Maka's got a number of different options at this point in the game.
There's a strike. 2-1 to Erstad.
You got Vargas to start this inning. If he gets into any trouble, you've got Stetter out there. You've got Coffey. You've got Weathers, DeFelice against the right-handers, and his closer. A little bit more relaxed at this point in the game.
And a lot of people will look at Wednesday as kind of the demarcation point. That was, the day the Brewers made all the moves, the 3 changes to the roster with Hardy and Hall and Bill Castro. But really, Doug Melvin and Gordash and Ken Maka, they've been trying to put it together here with some injuries and some issues in the pitching staff. And it started with Lopez in the trade with the Diamondbacks. And then on the road trip, the Brewers acquiring Vargas. They made a deal for David Weathers. So while those moves didn't quite grab the headlines like the moves from Wednesday, the moves are still in place, and now they're starting to come together here as Maka learns his pitching staff now, as Bosio has come in and learned his bullpen as well.
And a different team altogether than when they started the season. And they get J.J. Hardy back from the minor leagues. Hopefully he's got his confidence back. He hit a home run yesterday. Need Corey Hart back and healthy. Things looking up in September. Just got to keep winning.
Brewers trying to make it 4 straight today for the first time since mid-May. 3-2 to Erstad. Missed, and Erstad walks. So the tying run is aboard for the Astros. And back to the top of the order in Michael Bourne. Well, our Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text question today: if a ball hits the foul pole, is it a home run? Barbara in Madison. The answer is yes.
It should be called a fair pole then, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes I call it fair pole just for fun. Much to the dismay of our media relations director, Mike Vasallo. But it is called a foul pole, and if you hit the foul pole, it's fair. Bourne had a triple and an RBI in the 3rd inning. Drove in his 29th of the year. He's had a good season this year. His batting average around 290, on base percentage over 360 most of the year. He's only grounded into 1 double play all year in 433 at bats. That's the best percentage in the National League. Braun eases in, and it's out number 2.
Yeah, good location by Claudio Vargas. 91. He had to sink on it, and Michael Bourne ended up popping that one up off the end of the bat. That's a good pitch. He can get it up to mid-90s, but has good sink, the 2-seamer. Michael Bourne pulls off of it and upset about it.
Well, here's the key hitter. Matsui with 2 outs with Berkman on deck, and then Carlos Lee looming. You just soon have Berkman lead off the next inning. Vargas says he has a fresh arm. He has spent most of the year on the disabled list. Had an elbow injury and kind of an innovative procedure to get his elbow corrected this spring. He made just 8 appearances with the Dodgers this year, but only gave up 2 earned runs in 11 innings with Los Angeles before he was traded back to the Brewers. Second time the Brewers have acquired him via trade. Much different circumstances this time around.
And much more experience down in that bullpen because of it, with Coffey and Weathers. Claudio Vargas. Colome's been in the big leagues for some time. Trevor Hoffman. So, yeah. Guys that have been there, done that, and really not much phases them.
Vargas in his 7th year in the big leagues. Matsui into left. Braun in his tracks. And the inning is over. So Vargas puts up a 0 in the 7th, and we are headed to the home 7th. Stretch time at Miller Park. We invite you to stay and enjoy the rendition of God Bless America presented by Miller Park.
Good instructional on the way as well, Davey. It's playing that outfield ball off the wall, and then if you have to pick it up barehanded, we have some examples.
Exactly. If the ball off the wall now, as we see right here, if the ball gets stuck right over there, naturally you can't go in there with your glove. You want to be able to grab it with your hand like Hunter Pence did, take a step and make a good strong throw. Now this one coming off the wall, Carlos was very lucky here. He fielded it barehanded. He should have used his glove.
All right, so we're going to break that down after the ball game. Brewers lead this one 5-4. Also, post-game reaction from inside the clubhouse as the Brewers try to get the sweep over Pittsburgh here. I should say over Houston before they go to Pittsburgh this afternoon. Brian?
All right, Craig, Davey, thanks a lot. Now, if Davey is at the set, who's monitoring Gorman Thomas up there in the?
You said it. You're going to hear about that one. I don't know. Somebody has to. I mean, Davey just can't leave the suite without somebody keeping an eye on Gorman.
Tim Burdack is on the pitch.
Yeah, the one and only left-hander down in Cecil Cooper's bullpen. You know how he feels about that Gordon thing, don't you?
I know. That's why I did it. Hey, Gordon.
He might be over here in 2 seconds.
That's what they call Bill Schroeder walking around the ballpark.
That's right, Gorman.
Yeah, you Gordon Thomas.
And I proudly say, I may look like him, but I'm not.
Counsell strikes out. Out number 1 in the 7th. Well, Burdack will face Ryan Braun here. This will be an interesting matchup. He's out there primarily for Counsell and Fielder, but obviously Cecil Cooper is going to make sure that does not happen.
Kind of an interesting move, huh? Great Counsell, not a big power hitter. He's the only left-hander to face Counsell. Now you have nobody to face Fielder.
Well, we'll take a timeout, set up the new pitcher when we come back.
Good job against the Brewers. He's got 4 wins in relief in the National League. He's got some good numbers to show for it so far this year. 38th appearance, a 3.67 ERA, and a fastball slider. And his job is to get the red-hot Ryan Braun.
Braun with 1 away, 5-4. The Brewers lead the Astros in the home 7th. And Braun at the plate today, presented by Wendy's. 2-run homer in the first inning. Had a sharp single in the 6th. And Braun was aboard when Fielder hit one out to tie it. Braun fakes a bunt. Jeff Blum doesn't budge at third base. He says, go ahead. That's the least of my worries. Well, the fact that Burdack pitched to Counsell and then was lifted for Braun Gives you a little bit of the understanding from Cecil Cooper and what he's thinking about for Prince Fielder, perhaps.
And 4 balls, maybe, not throwing him strikes.
Because on the surface, you think Burdak is primarily out there to face Fielder, not Counsell. But if Cooper's already made up his mind that he's going to walk Prince, then you certainly want to take care of the leadoff hitter in the inning.
Yeah, kind of an interesting move. We haven't seen anything like that yet.
Braun is hit.
That was a breaking ball that time.
Well, we'll see what Cecil Cooper does now. Braun at first base.
Can't very well just put him on now with a man at first base. He pitch around, and what a sequence for Prince Fielder. Change up by Oswald. He missed with it. Then a series of fastballs, most of them away. Prince able to battle his way to finally get a pitch right here that was supposed to be in off the plate, left it out over, and home run for Prince. A nice job of covering the plate by Fielder.
Fielder's home run extended his hitting streak to 8 games and has 4 home runs during the 8-game streak and 10 runs batted in. Now the major league leader in RBIs, and he's up with Braun at first and 1 away.
Now this would be ordinarily the time where you would see Tim Burdak. You know, man on, you got Fielder up. Everybody that has just one left-hander in their bullpen saves him for Prince late in the game. Not today.
His home run was his 30th. And the 3rd time Fielder has hit 30 and driven in 100 in a season. He is the first Brewer to do it in consecutive seasons.
Man, nice changeup by Fulcino, and Prince way out in front had a little meeting with himself, trying to remind himself to stay back. Talking about Prince. Now, if you're Ryan Braun, you stay at first base, because if you steal, then you do just what the Astros want to do, and that's put Fielder on first with the intentional walk. One of those situations where you just stay put.
Fielder slaps one foul. Fulcino coming back with a fastball. And it's 1-2. You see the splits for Fielder against right-handers and left-handers.
Look at all the home runs against lefties. That's incredible.
That's in about a third of the at-bats as he has against right-handed pitchers.
Man. A lot of guys will have a decent batting average, but give up a lot of power.
It's about 60 points higher against lefties than he was last year. He's in a hole here, a ball and 2 strikes. Braun takes off, Fielder strikes out, and the throw is not in time. Braun steals the base, but Prince is gone on strikes as Fulcino gets a big out for the Astros in the 7th.
Good job of pitching by Fulcino. He threw the fastball right by him on the outside corner. Rodriguez not able to get him. Ryan Braun with 2 strikes. A little bit different situation. You might think about taking off. Ryan got a good jump and beat it at second base.
Stolen base number 10 for Braun.
Numbers down a bit for Ivan Rodriguez. Still at 30%. Not terrible, but not what Rodriguez has done throughout his career.
He's been a guy that's hovered around 50% caught stealing. A lot of that has to do with the pitching staff as well. So here's Braun in scoring position now. Cameron trying to give the Brewers some cushion here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, it's 30%, but only 47 have tried to steal. That's not that many at this point in the year.
Cameron singled and scored in the 6th. He scored the go-ahead run. And what has been a real testament to the Brewers' offense in this series with Houston, they have gotten some big hits, home runs, and what have you early in an inning. But then they've come back and they've done damage with 2 outs. They've been able to put rallies together after big hits or home runs. On a couple of occasions with 2 outs and nobody on, they've started a rally. You go back to Friday's game when they scored 8 runs in the first inning. Braun hit a 2-run homer in the first. Fielder had struck out, so 2 outs, nobody on against Wandy Rodriguez, and the Brewers came up with 2 walks, 3 hits, and a hit batter to score 6 more runs in that frame. Big slider from Fulcino. It's 2-2.
He's got good mustard on his fastball. He'll throw it in the mid-90s. That's why you have to, cheat a little bit. And when he throws that slider right there, he's pretty effective.
Fulcino pitched on Friday night, gave up a run in 1 inning. Cameron had a single and an RBI against him on Friday. And Cameron pops this one up. That will stay playable. Pence makes a catch. The inning is over. Brewers failed to score in the 7th. We're on our way to the 8th. 5-4 Milwaukee. Anderson, Bill Schroeder, great to have you back with us. And all of a sudden, the Brewers with a chance to sweep. They're going after their 4th consecutive win. David Weathers is in the pitch, and Ken Maka getting to utilize some of his new toys.
Yeah, it's real nice. I mean, you still have Todd Coffey out there. You have Stetter in the matchup that you might want to use later on in this game. And then you have the Trevor time option back in the 9th inning. So I think Ken Maka much more comfortable in the rotation that he uses in that bullpen the last few days.
So David Weathers takes over for Claudio Vargas, who works a scoreless 7th inning, surrendering 1 walk. And now it's Weathers pitching in consecutive games. Weathers worked a scoreless 8th last night, 3 up, 3 down. Most of that work done with the Cincinnati Reds. Weathers preparing for his first road trip with the Brewers. He was acquired on Sunday, a week ago today, and made his first appearance on Tuesday. David Weathers, in his 19th season in the big leagues.
And a guy that's effective against both left and right. He might have not have the stuff that he used to, but he uses his head. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to get outs, and he certainly knows the hitters, particularly in the Central Division.
He'll turn 40 next month. And then the Brewers will have two 40-year-olds in their bullpen with Weathers and Hoffman. As much as Weathers has bounced around in his career, he has been able to set up shop in Cincinnati for the last few years. Spent 4+ years in Cincinnati before the trade back to Milwaukee. He was a Brewer in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Traded away in 01.
He's always been a setup man, except for maybe a year or two in Cincinnati, and a good one at that.
Well, it was just 2 seasons ago that he emerged as the Reds closer. In 2007, they tried Todd Coffey in that role, but it was Weathers who ended up being their primary closer in 07. He had 33 saves that year. Berkman with a big cut. Weathers was an Astro back in 04. Padres finally have a lead on St. Louis. Cardinals have won the first 2 games in that series, keeping the Brewers 7 back in the Central. They'll ask if he went. No, he didn't. Berkman draws the walk. And the second walk for Berkman.
Pretty close. Looks like he was able to hold up.
Well, the Brewers off to Pittsburgh tonight. 3-game series at PNC Park. An off day Thursday, and then a 4-game wraparound series with the Nationals. Next home game against the Cincinnati Reds. Fielder toward the rail and out of room. Another dangerous spot with a power hitter at the plate. Weathers has to get through the tough part of the Astros order. 3, 4, and 5. Berkman, Lee, and Blum.
That's ordinary where Weathers likes to stay late in the ball game, particularly with a 1-run lead away. He makes a mistake away. He feels like he's going to get a base hit, maybe a double, but more times than not, when he works away on the corners, he's not going to give up the long ball.
Game number 943 in his career. And Lee takes a swing, unable to hold it up, and down he goes. A strikeout for David Weathers.
A good slider off the outside corner with 2 strikes. And yes, he did. Good pitch.
There's only one active pitcher who has appeared in more games than David Weathers. I'll give you a wild guess.
Is he in the Brewer bullpen?
He certainly is. Trevor Hoffman. So when you say the Brewers have a veteran bullpen, I mean, you mean it. Experienced. Hoffman 966 career games. He's the active leader. And Weathers 942. Make it 943 today.
Trevor's starting to get focused.
If it stays as is, you'll see Hoffman in the 9th. Blum, a little bouncer. Fielder will take it himself. So 2 outs. The tying run advances to second base. But 2 gone with Hunter Pence coming up. Well, time now to take a look at our Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. Alcides Escobar, Greg Counsell. That was kind of a tough hop on Counsell. Came up on him. He was in a good position to make the play. Good defense by the Brewers. This homestand and on this winning streak specifically.
Yeah, one error against the Brewers in this series against the Astros so far.
That was the drop pop-up by Lopez. Or check that. That was in the San Diego game. You said on this homestand. Council's error earlier in the series. Hunter Pence hit a long ball back in the 6th inning, and it required a review, a home run review. And it was originally called a home run, but it was changed to a foul ball. And then Pence flew out. Who knows how that might have changed the game? It would have been 5-2 Houston. And you never know how the game unfolds after that.
Yeah.
But it was back-to-back home runs. And this crowd went dead quiet after that. But the review came back. The umpires went and looked at it. They changed the call to a foul ball. And I don't know, it sparked a little life, not only with the crowd, but it gave Braden Looper a chance to get through the inning.
Hunter Pence ended up flying out to center field. You betcha.
That's into right, pretty well hit. Back is Catalanato. He's out of room, and it's gone. Hunter Pence with a 2-run home run, and the Astros are back on top. Just tremendous power.
Well, Hunter Pence is going to say, yeah, review that one. Well, a slider by David Weathers that stayed up and out over the plate. Very rare for Weathers to give up a long ball. But let that slider up in the zone, and Pence went right with it. And out of here to right. So a 1-run lead for Houston. Ordinarily, you work away, you make mistakes away, they don't end up out of the ballpark.
Number 18 for Pence, a 2-out home run. And a 6-5 Houston lead. Well, the Brewers are going to have to battle back again. Astros with 2 on the board in the 8th. And a 6-5 lead. Pence has plenty of power. He hit a 17th last night. The only runs for the Astros came on a Pence 2-run homer in the 7th inning last night.
Yeah, hit that one to left. Breaking ball by Mike Burns, a curveball that wasn't that bad of a pitch. It might have been up a little bit, but away. Pence hooked that one to left. This time taking that hanging slider to right field.
Count goes full to Rodriguez. It's only the 8th home run Weathers has given up this year in 44 appearances. Well, the Brewers in the 8th inning will have Catalanato leading off, and then Kendall, and then the pitcher spot. Maka has already used Casey McGee. He pinch hit in the 6th inning and walked. Long battle between Pudge Rodriguez and David Weathers. And the 10th pitch is popped up. Foul territory, and that will land in the seats. that one missed. Rodriguez draws the walk. Weathers asking Bill Welke where the pitch was. And the inning continues here in the 8th. 2 runs are in. The Astros have the lead.
Well, a little bit up and in, I guess. It looked like a pretty good pitch, but Bill Welke didn't like it.
And a visit to the mound from Chris Bosio.
Brewer pitchers have walked 5 today, and 2 of them have already come around to score. Both home runs were hit with a man on base, and both of them walks. Difference in the game. Matter of fact, both times Lance Berkman has walked today. A home run has scored him.
Pence with a 2-run shot to put the Astros on top. And Weathers battling to get through this 8th. Jeff Keppinger, Weathers' former teammate in Cincinnati. Keppinger is 0 for 3. Jason Michaels will hit next if that spot comes up. This was a live wire crowd until Hunter Pence home run. A sellout today, 41,863. And now an anxious crowd as the Brewers have just 6 outs to work with. Houston has a very good closer in Jose Valverde. I suppose Fulcino would pitch unless his spot in the batting order comes up next.
Now, bottom half of the Brewers order coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that's the part of the order that was on base 7 times yesterday. So they're going to have to do it again tonight, or I should say this afternoon.
And that part of the order on base 4 times today. Ball and a strike. And Weathers again checks on Rodriguez. And this game has come to a standstill.
Not sure how many stolen bases Pudge has. I'm going to have to look at it, but David Weathers is very concerned about him. Make that none. And he's been thrown out twice.
And he's fallen behind Keppinger.
I guess bottom line, don't worry about Rodriguez at first base. Now you might want to think about throwing over. 2-1, a good running count.
A base hit. The Astros keep coming here in the 8th. After the home run with 2 outs, a walk and a single. And now Jason Michaels will pinch hit.
Only the 6th hit for the Astros today. And now you got a pinch hitter coming up with a couple of men on base, and a pinch hitter that did a pretty good job offensively against the Brewers in Houston. Michael Bourne banged up. Berkman on the disabled list. And Jason Michaels had a pretty good run.
Well, here comes Maka. And he'll make the change here. DeFelice will come on to pitch against Michaels. As the Astros threaten for more. A 2-run homer has him on top, 6-5. And Weathers has a tough day on the mound. Hunter Pence with a 2-run home run off David Weathers. And what was a 5-4 Brewer lead turns into a 6-5 Astros lead. Weathers removed from the game with 2 outs. And here's Mark DeFelice, who pitches with 2 on and facing a nemesis from earlier this year, Jason Michaels.
Yeah, Michaels took him out of the yard back in Houston. Thursday, DeFelice pitched a scoreless inning in 3rd. Big out here.
2 on, 2 out. And Michaels takes ball 1. Stetter loosening as well. Jason Michaels back on August 7th, a week ago Friday, hit a 3-run homer against DeFelice in Houston. After that game, DeFelice saying his mechanics had slipped a little bit, starting to get a little more sidearm than he wants to, flattening out his cut fastball. See if he makes the adjustment here.
That's what happens when you get tired. Arm drops, ball flattens out. Doesn't have any downward movement on it. And that's why Jason Michaels was able to hit that ball out of the ballpark.
Michaels has only 3 homers this season, but 2 of them in the same game in consecutive at-bats against the Brewers. And DeFelice has him at 2-2. Catalinato, Kendall, and a pinch hitter will hit for the Brewers in the 8th. And they're going to need to come back again. The Brewers were behind 4-2. Then they scored 3 in the 6th to come back against Oswalt. Now the Astros back on top. Michaels gets jammed, but flares one out to right. Catalinato up with it. On his way home is Rodriguez. And the throw is late. And the Astros add 1 more. 7-5 Houston.
Well, left that one middle in. Supposed to be away, left it up and in. Michaels able to fight it off into right field. Not where it was supposed to be, jammed him, but able to dump it in front of Catalinato in right field. And with 2 outs, Rodriguez running on the contact and able to score easily. Not where the pitch was supposed to be, and because of that, Brewers give up another one.
And runners at 1st and 3rd now with Michael Bourne at the plate. And Maka is going to make a double switch. Mike Cameron made the last out, so he's coming out of the game. And Jody Garrett will come in on the double switch, which means Garrett will hit 3rd in the bottom of this inning. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and set up the new pitcher. Brewers now trailing 7-5.
game, cast your vote for the We Energies High Energy Player of the Year at Brewers.com/We Energies.
Mitch Stetter on the pitch. Runners at the corners for the Astros. 3 runs are in the inning. And it's 7-5 Houston. Michael Bourne, left-handed batter at the plate, which is why Stetter is on to work. Got Matsui coming up next. And then Berkman to follow. Jody Garrett takes over in center field.
Yeah, got a left-hander followed by a couple of switch hitters.
Well, Ken Maka is hoping it stops right here. And a rough inning for the Brewer bullpen. All 3 of the runs at this point belonging to David Weathers. 2 outs. And that one misses. 2 balls and a strike. Jody Garrett on the run and able to make the play for the out. So the inning finally ends. 8 batters come up though, and the Brewers are now trailing by 2. As the Astros have taken another 2-run lead, 7-5 Houston. They score 3 in the 8th, and now LaTroy Hawkins will come on to pitch.
Yeah, Hawkins appeared on Friday, pitched a scoreless inning, struck out a couple of batters. Hawkins fresh off the disabled list. He was on the DL and the Brewers were in Houston. The veteran, pretty good numbers so far this year out of that Astros bullpen.
So Hawkins will try to set it up for Jose Valverde. And the Brewers are hoping to do their work right now. Catalanotto starts it off. A hit today and a walk. He's 1 for 2. The Brewers have out-hit the Astros 8-7. Astros have a pair of home runs. As you see Valverde, he looks nervous.
Not time for him yet.
Although in Houston we did see Valverde in the 8th inning of a game. As Catalanotto sends one to center field. Bourne runs it down for the out.
They're talking about 7 hits only for the Houston Astros. Unfortunately for Milwaukee, 4 of those have come with men in scoring position.
And the 2 big hits producing 5 runs. 3-run homer by Jeff Blum and a 2-run shot from Hunter Pence. Pence's home run put the Astros on top.
Yeah, 4 for 6 of the Astros. That's a pretty good day.
Jason Kendall. Well, the Brew Crew still 2 hits shy of double digits. If they could get to that post today, they would have double-digit hit totals in every single game on this homestand. The Cubs and the Pirates are delayed by rain.
Oh, good. Let it get it out of its system. Don't need any rain in Pittsburgh.
Seems like it usually rains in Pittsburgh.
Of course, they're in Chicago right now.
Little pop up, played easily by Keppinger. 2 outs.
Still don't need any rain in Pittsburgh.
Now, Braun had a homer in the first inning, a 2-run shot. And then Fielder homered in the 6th inning. A 2-run homer that tied it. Powerball home run count. Now at 133 for the Brewers as a team. Usually when Braun and Fielder homer in a game, the Brewers win. 2 gone, nobody on, and here's Jody Garrett. Garrett still looking for his first Brewer home run. He's hit 4 this year, all coming with the Padres. St. Louis still trailing San Diego 5-4. That game's in the bottom of the 6th. And now it's raining in St. Louis. What's better than the roof?
Nothing.
Well, a 1-2-3 inning for LaTroy Hawkins. Brewers go quietly at the 8th. On our way to the 9th, Astros lead by 2. Seven to 5 Houston as we head to the 9th inning. Mitch Stetter back on the mound to face Matsui. And then Berkman. Stetter got the final out of the 8th. A 3-run inning for the Astros. And that 3-run inning is why this ballpark is so quiet right now. Even with 41,000 fans here. Escobar. takes care of Matsui for out number 1 of the 9th. Now the Brewers will have Escobar leading off the bottom of the 9th. And then you go back to the top of the order. Lopez, Counsell, if anybody gets on, Ryan Braun. And they're going to have to do it against Jose Valverde, who has led the league in saves the last 2 years.
And we'll see if Ken Maka pinch hits for Escobar. He's got Ira Barron on the bench, a left-handed hitter.
Bergman has walked twice and scored 2 runs, but he is still hitless in this series. Well, you wonder if Stetter would face Carlos Lee, who is scheduled to hit next. Bergman lines one to left and a base hit. So his first hit of this 3-game series comes in his final at bat, perhaps. And now Carlos Lee will bat.
And a slider that I guess was supposed to be away. It looked like Kendall was sitting up in the outside corner. Stetter left it down the middle.
Stetter stays, and Carlos Lee is up there with a runner at first, and he whistles one fair down the line. That takes a good hop for the Brewers. Bergman on his way to third, and he'll make it with a slide. So Carlos Lee with a single to left, and suddenly the Astros with 2 on, just 1 out.
That's somewhat interesting that Ken Maka allowed Stetter to face Carlos Lee. Didn't take long. A fastball in. That's where they've been pitching him the entire series, and he rips one down the left field line. And a couple of right-handers getting loose down in that Brewer bullpen, elected to stay with Stetter. And the Astros looking to extend their lead.
So first and third for Houston. Bosio is back to the mound. And he will face Jeff Blum, another switch hitter. That Maka would rather bat as a right-handed hitter. Don't forget, Brewers Live coming up after the game. Our post-game instructional today, playing the ball off the wall.
Yeah, good job by Ryan Braun on that last double. Hit the wall that juts out past the tarp. It's kind of a tough decision whether you commit to going down that line like that, or you kind of wait to see where that ball's going to hit, similar to the right field line. So a little bit trickier than you would anticipate, or that you would figure.
One gone for Blum with 2 on. And the Brewers in desperate need of a ground ball double play to get him out of this inning. Can't afford to go down any more than 2. Blum hit a 3-run homer in the 6th that put Houston on top 4-2. A lead that wouldn't last long. The Brewers answered with 3 in the bottom of the 6th. There's a base hit and an RBI. Man, well, this game got away from the Crew in the latter stages of their bullpen as Blum delivers his 4th run of the game and 3 straight hits.
And that should be it right now. There's nothing but right-handers coming up. A fastball that got too much of the plate. And Jeff Blum, who has hurt the Brewers on a number of occasions this year, does it again.
So Stetter is lifted. Back to the bullpen goes Maka, and the Astros leading 8-5. As Braun homered off Oswalt in the first inning. Michael Bourne drove in a run in the third to make it 2-1 Milwaukee. Jeff Blum's 3-run homer in the sixth inning gave the Astros their first lead, but then Fielder tied it in the sixth. A 2-run homer, his 30th of the year. Escobar put the Brewers on top, but Hunter Pence answers a 2-run homer in the eighth inning. And since then, the Astros have added 2 more, and they lead 8-5 in the top of the ninth. Runners at first and second for Houston, 1 out, and Jesus Colome is on to pitch against Hunter Pence.
Had pitched a scoreless inning on Friday night. In 3 games, a 2.45 ERA. He's given up only 1 run in 3 2/3. Signed by the Brewers on July 21st.
Colome was with the Washington Nationals. He was released by the Nats, and the Brewers picked him up. He went to AAA first. He pitched well down there. Matter of fact, he picked up a couple of saves in Nashville. Earned a promotion to the big leagues. Pence has 3 hits in the series, 2 homers and a double. And his home run putting the Astros ahead, and a lead they still enjoy. Brewers are headed to Pittsburgh tonight. 3-game series with the Pirates beginning tomorrow. And then a day off Thursday, and then a Friday through Monday series in Washington. So Colome will get to face his old mates in Washington. The Brewers' first trip to D.C. Washington beating the Reds today 5-4. A name Brewers fans know all too well. Josh Willingham homered today, his 19th of the year. Pence into left, fairly deep. Braun on the track makes the catch for the out. Tagging at second is Carlos Lee, and he'll make it, and that allows Blum to advance as well. So both runners advance, 2 outs in the inning. Tomorrow, Carlos Villanueva starts for the Crew against Kevin Hart for Chicago. Hart was involved in the trade that sent Tom Gorzolani to the Cubs. So it'll be the Brewers' first look at Kevin Hart as a member of the Pirates.
And Villanueva's been throwing the ball pretty well out of the starting rotation. Ken Macha really can't justify taking him out of the rotation and put him in the bullpen, but that's where he would prefer to have Carlos. All things being equal.
Villanueva will make his 5th start tomorrow. Pitched well against the Padres his last time out. Gave up just a couple of runs in 5 2/3. Took a no decision in that game. Rodriguez bounces one to Escobar. And Colome does a nice job to get out of the inning and strand a pair. The Astros lead by 3. Last call. Here comes their closer. The front runners in the division coming up. And, of course, the Giants in wild card contention. The Brewers will enjoy a number of home games at the turn of August and into September. Hope you'll make plans to be with us. You can log on to the web at brewers.com for ticket information. Don't forget, Brewers Live is coming up. The postgame instructional today is playing the ball off the wall. Craig and Davey. So the Astros have their closer in, Jose Valverde. He has 15 saves this year. He's blown 4 saves. Spent significant time on the disabled list with a calf injury, also turned into an ankle injury.
A hard throw with a good split-fingered fastball for Jose Valverde. Jeff Keppinger moves to left field. And Miguel Tejada in the game at shortstop. Something that Cecil Cooper does quite a bit for defense, taking Carlos Lee out of the ball game.
Alcides Escobar will lead off. Brewers need 3 to tie, 4 to win it here in the 9th. Tough day for the Brewers bullpen today. Astros scoring 4 runs in the last 2 innings to take this 3-run lead. It was 5-4 Milwaukee going to the 8th. Escobar's first matchup with Jose Valverde and his big fastball. Numbers are down for Valverde, but he has not pitched much this year. He's been injured.
He's got that big arm, 95 miles an hour. He can get it up as hot as 97, 98 from time to time to go along with that splitter.
He's led the league in saves the last 2 years. 47 as a member of the Diamondbacks in 07. Last year, in his first year in Houston, he had 44 saves. 0-2 to Escobar. 1-2.
Well, 97 miles an hour. Sounded low.
You see the split finger grip that Valverde takes before every pitch. That's really the equalizer pitch for him, what makes him so tough. A fly ball to right. And 1 out. And the Astros bullpen is now retired 6 in a row. So 1 gone in the 9th. Top of the order now, Felipe Lopez. Lopez with 2 hits and a walk. The Brewers got 3 runs in the 6th. Looking for a repeat performance. It's a good try. You never know. Anything to help the home team. 1-1 to Lopez. 8 hits in the series for Felipe Lopez. Back-to-back 3-hit games, 2 today. And it's 1-2.
And most of his at-bats have come as a left-handed hitter. It seems as though since he's been with the Brewers, hasn't had many opportunities batting from the right side, but picked up a couple of hits.
The Brewers got to Valverde way back in April, on the 25th of April. Scored a couple of runs, and Valverde blew a save. That one is into left, pretty well hit. Back is Keppinger, who is playing shallow, and that's over his head. Bounces out of here for a double. I'm surprised Keppinger was so shallow against Felipe Lopez, but he comes up with his 3rd hit of the game and his 9th hit of the series.
Yeah, Keppinger wasn't even close. I mean, he was positioned very shallow, figuring that, particularly with 2 strikes, Lopez just going to try and punch the ball into right field. But with the velocity that Valverde brings, and Lopez gets good wood on it, and one hops it for a 1-out double. Not even close.
So a little light for the Brewers, now needing one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. And if Counsell can get on, it'll be Ryan Braun who steps in, representing the tying run. Valverde's last save was against the Brewers. Hasn't had a save opportunity since August 9th. 3 of his 15 saves have come against the Brew Crew this season, but does have the one blown save as well. There's the splitter, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, first one he's thrown.
Little jam shot. Jeff Blum makes a catch for out number 2. So the Brewers down to their last out, and Braun hoping to get Fielder a shot at Valverde. Back in the first, Braun a 2-run homer, his 26th of the year. Gave the Brewers a 2-0 lead. Braun's 3rd homer off Roy Oswalt in the last 2 seasons. 2 outs, Lopez at second base. And Braun bounces one up the middle. Matsui going to be a tough play, cannot make a play. And here we go.
Yep.
Fielder will step to the plate.
That's all you can ask. Yeah, bring the big boys up to tie the game. You never know what can happen. Oh, Ryan Braun looked like that ball was going to end the game. And Matsui just couldn't get there, and no chance to get him.
So it sets up a matchup with Valverde and his big fastball against Prince Fielder. It was Fielder's home run against Valverde on April 25th that tied the game for the Brewers in Houston. That was in the 9th inning. And Cecil Cooper wants to make sure he gets it all straight with Jose Valverde.
Well, not a whole lot to talk about in this situation. I mean, Valverde is basically power against power.
Fielder's homer against Valverde in Houston this past April was a line drive missile that came with 2 strikes. Tying run at the plate. Can Fielder do it again? He homered back in the 6th. And a strike from Valverde. Split finger fastball starts him out.
You're probably not going to see him try to bust him inside with a fastball. Last time they did that, you remember what happened. Home run to center.
8-5 Houston. Braun takes off. Fielder takes a ball. Well, now the scenario exists to walk Fielder and face Mike Rivera, but if you walk Fielder, you bring the winning run to the plate.
And then you put the tying run on base.
And the wheels are churning for Cecil Cooper. Ball and a strike. Fielder the tying run, and he yanks one foul, and it's 1-2.
Another splitter.
The Brewers down to their last strike. 2 on, 2 out. And Fielder lays off a fastball 96 miles an hour from Valverde up in the strike zone.
Reaching back as much as he can get, and good play by Rodriguez.
The pitcher's spot is due up next. Remember, Mike Cameron was taken out on a double switch. 2-2. The Astros closer. A strike away from a save. Fielder trying to get the Brewers back in it. And he lays off a tough pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Prince.
And went with a split-fingered fastball.
Fielder sitting on 30 homers. Representing the tying run, the 3-2. And Fielder hits one in the air to right. Back is Pence. Still going back at the wall, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Fielder to the deep part of right field. Comes up just short.
I thought he had it. My goodness.
The Astros win it. They salvage the final game of the series. If he pulls it a hair, it's gone. Instead, Pence makes the catch with his back up against the wall. Man, oh man, that close. So the Brewers drop a tough one today. 8-5 the final score. Fulcino wins it. Valverde picks up save number 16. And it's time for Brewers Live as we check in with Craig and Davey.
Okay, Brian, thanks very much. Wow, what a thumper on the old heartbeat to end the ball game. Dave and Craig on board with you to start Brewers Live, sponsored by Lincoln.